Welcome to this forest garden project. It's February now, it's winter. We're going to do a series of videos looking at the experience of setting one up.
We wanted to address the two main problems we see as a human race facing. That's climate change and habitat loss. So we came up with three guiding principles to address that. One was, how can we hold as much carbon in the landscape and water in the landscape? The second is, how can we restore as much great wildlife habitat as possible? And the third was, how can we reconnect people with the natural world and with themselves at the same time? So under the banner of those three principles, here we are in our forest garden. So this is like a mini version of what we do across the rest of the farm. We did a Martin Crawford forest gardening course, and we were really inspired by what he's doing down here. Ben's one of the first people to come up to me and said, yep, all right, I can help you. So we started some conversations about what we're trying to mutually achieve here, and away we go.
I don't want to give you the impression that I'm a complete expert at this. This is something that I am interested in due to the environmental concerns, really. And it's something that I want to learn more about. Creating a forest garden, Martin Crawford, that comes highly recommended. It's a good opportunity, this project, because what it means is that we can follow something right from the start.
So the first thing you can do, as you will see in the forest garden here, is you plant the upper canopy. So we've got a mixture of fruit and nut trees, and you plant some wind shelters belts as well. We've got sea buckthorn here.
I think in the autumn we'll get some berries off that. The prevailing wind comes from this direction, so we've got a bit of shelter there as well. So this is all standing us in good stead.
There's no point planting things that aren't going to do well in the type of land you had, your topography, the climate and all the rest of it. Some are a little more esoteric, others, like the willow here behind me, are a bit more structural to create spaces to be in the forest garden area, but you can also harvest the willow to make things as well. So if it's not providing food or medicine from the forest garden, it has to be something that you can practically use.
So typically you'd have the canopy, and then you've got an understory with shrubs in it, with herbaceous perennials, with some ground cover plants, and with climbers going through the whole lot. It's not a closed canopy forest. With a mature closed canopy forest, then very little light gets into the understory, which means that you can't grow many productive and useful things in the understory. The canopy's been planted out in anticipation of the future crown diameters, so there's absolutely loads of space to play with at the moment. So you have a high diversity of plant species. There's ecological benefits because it's very biodiverse. There's lots of plants that attract pollinators. It's also beneficial in terms of carbon sequestration. By the way, I'm still working out what all these trees are. I don't actually know what they all are right now. But some of them are labelled, some of them aren't. Some of them have still got the labels on from the nursery. This one here is Cosford Filbert. The ground prep has been the focus of the winter. We need to essentially mulch off areas of ground beneath the trees so that we can kill off the grass, otherwise it'll outcompete everything that we plant. In Martin Crawford's book, he's kind of laid out a few different potential ways of doing it. One way being just using a plastic sheet mulch. Thought we would use wood chip if we can, because that way it's going to decompose and build the soil a bit as well. This is the pile that I paid for. It's a bit coarser than the other stuff. And then I've got another couple of piles over there. They were slightly finer. The farmer here has kind of set us up really well. There are some materials that he's got that we can use into the mulching that we've done, which is called the lasagne method, also known as sheet composting. You don't have to have a dedicated compost heap, turn the heap, spread the heap, that kind of thing. You pretty much put your layers down in situ and let them decompose in place. With lasagne gardening, the idea is that you layer up alternating layers of carbon and nitrogen, and you can do as many as you want, really. Probably the more the better. With this one we did lots of layers. It was cardboard, straw, manure, fine wood chip, and then a layer of grass clippings and nettles, and this mulch on top, what I'm finding is that the grass is actually able to sprout from those clippings. So we're going to have to put something else on top of this to kill the grass back. So I think what we're going to do with the mulch around the plum tree there is we're just going to keep it simple. It's cardboard for weed suppression, straw for carbon, manure for nitrogen, and wood chip as a top mulch to retain moisture and stop weeds germinating, basically. We could consider putting this layer much lower down. We don't really have any of this to hand, and we're going to put the wood chip on and call it a day. So first layer is cardboard, and the main thing to do is to get all the plastic tape off. You'll probably spend longer removing all the tape and faffing around doing that kind of thing and getting all the staples out than you will actually spreading it out on the ground, which takes no time at all, really. The next layer, we're going to do a layer of carbon, which is going to be straw. So last weekend, many hands make light work, as they say. It was absolutely great to have others come along, get stuck in. Kids did really well with their wheelbarrows and wood chip, and we mulched around the mulberry tree. It's relatively fine compared to wood chip, so it's going to break down quicker than wood chip would. So that's why we're putting it towards the bottom of the layers. All right, that's the straw done. It is absolutely boiling for March, so I'm working up a sweat here. And the next layer is going to be manure. Yeah, so we're lucky to have this. This is cow manure from when there were livestock still kept here, and I think we're going to need about probably 8 to 10 of these wheelbarrows. But this isn't like the straw, you know, this is putting in the hard yards now. All right, so optimistic as usual. That was more like 12 wheelbarrows worth. So yeah, just going to spread this out now. We'll use the fork to break it up to the best extent I can, and then we'll finish it off with a top mulch of wood chip. That's it on ground prep for now. Hopefully this will be a happy plum tree with all our organic matter that we've added. Next time we are going to be looking at the canopy trees in more detail, look at all the species that we've got here, species selection, what governs those choices, and how to plant a tree. And we will also be looking at the understory. It's more expensive to buy buy plants from a nursery than to buy seed, so we'll be looking at raising our own seedlings, and yeah, getting into that. Seeds have arrived, so tried to get some dye plants. Let's see what we've got here. Spring is here, so see what I can do with these.